All right, everyone. Welcome back to Newfangled. Hopefully, we are connected. I am totally on my own today, so I'm a little nervous about how this is going to go. Special shout out to Mike Nelson, who helped me set up the video piece of this. So, welcome back. It was great to see everybody last week at the Hayden Library. Our Newfangled group met, and we had a Socratic seminar on our last month, our July book, which was Chomp. We also passed out the next books, which was a graphic novel drama by Raina Telgemeier. I'm really excited to be able to be the first presenter about this particular book today. And today I want to remind everybody that we're just discussing the very beginning of the book. So we're just starting Act 1, pages 1 through 60. I don't know if anyone like me struggled to put the book down. I actually just sat down and read the whole thing in about 2 hours. And I think I saw somebody on Edmodo who said that they had the same problem, if that's a problem, not being able to put a book down. So again, no spoilers. I'll remind you of where this section is in the book. So page 60, which is what we were reading to, ends just before the auditions. We've met our protagonist, Callie, her friends Matt and Liz, Greg, whom Callie has a crush on, we find out. And we were just introduced to some new friends for Callie, the twins, Jesse and Justin. So that's where we've left off. And again, we're going to remember no spoilers for this particular section of the book. So I don't know if you had a chance to check yet. I'm also kind of back and forth here on Edmodo. Earlier today, I did post a link to Raina Telgemeier's site called goraina.com. There was an interesting Q&A with the author about this book and other books that she has written. I haven't read anything else by her, so it was really interesting. Got me very curious about the book Smile. I think I might have to read that, which was based on a true story from her life. Drama, she says in that Q&A, if you read it, is not based on anything in her life. Maybe some of the characters are loosely based on some people she knows, but this is not an actual event from her life. She is not Callie. She has not been in stage manager for a play or any of those things. So anyway, if you get a chance, you might check out that section. All right, so speaking of drama, here's my first question for today. The title drama refers to, maybe it could refer to an emotional upheaval that could occur both on stage if you're acting in a drama, or off stage if you're experiencing drama in your own life, which middle schoolers, I'm sure you can relate to that a little bit. So what are some of the similarities between life in middle school and putting on a school play? So I'll post that here onto Edmodo. Hopefully I'm able to do all of this at once. It's kind of, I feel like a little bit of schizophrenia going back and forth between the two things. But so the title drama refers to emotional upheavals that occur on stage and off stage. What are the similarities between life in middle school and putting on a school play? So I don't know. It's been a few years since I've been to middle school. I can tell you that. I used to teach at a middle school. So I do know that in my teaching career, I did see a lot of drama. And I do know as a student that I was also involved in a lot of drama. Definitely middle school was a time of a lot of learning, both academically and socially, mainly. For me, it seems like. So I would say for me, some of the similarities would be, between life on stage and middle school. I guess the coordinating of in life when you've got your friends, and especially in middle school, you're kind of walking this fine line of who am I, where do I fit in, how do I feel about certain topics or subjects, just trying to find your own way, I guess, in life. And to me, that kind of fits with a play, just where you fit in as your character in the whole scheme of the play, how you fit in, how does your character fit in, how does your dialogue interact with others. So to me, those were some similarities between real life and a play. So let me look here. I'm over on the Newfangled website. Oh, Zach, yeah, the stress for sure. Being in a play. I don't know how many of you have ever been in a play. I've been in a couple plays, minor parts, mind you. I was in The Sound of Music and The King and I in Oklahoma, all back when I was in a little bitty farm town in Illinois when I was, I'd say elementary school, barely into middle school. And it's definitely stressful. It's a lot of stress. And middle school, I know, is very stressful as well. So Zach, nice connection there. All right, let's keep moving on. My next question is related to our protagonist. So what do we know about Callie so far? And do you like her character? So what I know about Callie so far, and we'll see what other people say, but what I know about Callie so far is she sounds to me like a fairly typical middle school girl. She's got a crush on a boy named Greg. It's maybe not reciprocated. We're not sure. There's a kiss that happens, but then he sees her later and kind of blows her off a little bit. So that seems like, you know, things that have happened or will happen in life. So she seems pretty normal. She's got a great best friend. I think her name is Liz. She seems to be pretty outgoing. I can tell you I was not this outgoing when I was in middle school. But I really like that about her, actually. I think I'm going to post that. She's very outgoing and seems positive and enthusiastic, particularly about the play. And we see, if we've read beyond page 60, we'll see a little bit more about why she's connecting so much with being in the play and being part of the group. But I like Callie. She's a very believable character to me so far in the book. So I like her energy. I think she's really positive. Okay, so not too many people on Edmodo. Must be busy out there enjoying some of these last warm days of summer. But we'll keep on trudging through, and maybe people will join us later or will connect once we get further into the book. All right. Okay, so our next thing, sorry, I'm back and forth between formats here. Okay, so Callie attends, we find the name of the school is Eucalyptus Middle School, an interesting name for a middle school. And what do you think about Eucalyptus Middle School? My question really is, how does it seem similar to your school? How is it different than your school? As I mentioned earlier, one of the middle schools that I went to, we did do full productions. Actually, it was a combined middle school, high school. The town was very tiny in Illinois, about 600 people total in the town. But we did annual play or performance. I mentioned some of the ones that I was a part of. So that was something that was similar to her middle school. Some differences, let's see. I don't know, it's hard to tell. We're just barely into the book so far. I would say some other similarities. You've got a teacher who's overseeing this drama class. It sounds like there's a boy who's like the main director. That was different than what I was used to, so that would be a difference. But nothing really stands out to me yet about Eucalyptus Middle School, other than it seems, you know, fairly typical. I don't know what our middle schoolers here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho would have to say about that, if they're similar or different. Let's see. I'm going to go back to Edmodo. I've got a few replies. Welcome to Laurel and to Krista. Thank you for joining in. Laurel likes that she's spunky and happy. Yes, she is. And she liked her hair. Yeah, it's fun, huh? Purple and pink hair. And Krista likes her personality is reflected through her appearance. She's very colorful, which distinguishes her from other kids in the book, particularly her hair. So nice, Krista, yes. She's not afraid to let people know how she feels. She's kind of definitely an extrovert, so I've enjoyed getting to know Callie a little bit. All right, so I'm going to keep trudging through and keep posting some questions online. And welcome to our newfangled guests who are joining us. Laurel says she did not find anything similar as her middle school so far, and it's a little early in the book, so maybe Laurel, we will get to know a little bit more about the school. The next question is really kind of a follow-up question related to the middle school. My question is, do you think the setting of a middle school is important to the book? Why or why not? That's an interesting question. Is the setting of a middle school important? I think this setting, and I'm going to type this online as my own response, I think the setting seems to fit more with the topic. I'm not sure the topic would work for an elementary school for sure, but perhaps a high school. I do know, though, having been to both middle school and high school, that those feelings that Callie is feeling, that I'm not sure if this guy likes me. I'm not sure about this girl, Bonnie, who seems to be kind of this mean girl. Callie's feelings, a little bit of self-doubt, those kinds of things seem to be more of a middle school type of thing. So that seems to be important. We'll see. Oh, Zach, I'm going back a little bit. Zach and Megan both say that their school's musicals are like their play. Good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that other kids have had that experience. I wonder if Zach or Megan have been in a play. So I'll ask them that question while I'm online. All right, so moving on along. Boy, we get to know Callie's passions a little bit in this section, pages 1 through 60. We see that Callie is very passionate about set design. She even researches old movies. She and Liz get together and watch some old movies to inspire her and to learn more. And so I'm trying to connect the book to your own life a little bit. So what topics do you love learning about? And how do you learn more about those topics? So I'm posting that on here. And this will be, you know, it's fun when you read a book to connect the book to your own life. And so my topic or my question is really, you know, Callie's passionate about one thing, but what are you passionate about? What are you excited about? How do you learn more about these things? So for example, I'm going to post myself. I'm passionate about learning and educating, especially about reading. I learn by reading professional books about it and by watching good teachers, and we sure have a lot in our school district. So that is how I learn. I learn from watching them and what they do, and I learn from trying to find professional books to read to increase my own learning about the topic that I'm passionate about, which is reading, teaching kids how to read. So I'll be curious. We'll get to know each other a little bit more tonight with seeing what other people are passionate about and how they learn. Okay, so moving on, I've got my little list of questions here that I want to ask you, so I'm kind of plowing through my list, I know. I'm going back to Edmodo, and I see Krista says it's a hyperbolic version of a middle school, but it may appear that way to an adolescent going there. So an extreme exaggeration of middle school. Interesting, Krista. So definitely some components of middle school, and maybe what the author has done is chosen the most exaggerated or the pieces and put them all into one book. So interesting. And thank you for throwing me off on that big old word and making me mispronounce it. So good job, Krista. All right. We have Zach. We're back to my question about what are you passionate about? Zach is passionate about Star Wars and reading. Very nice. Laurel likes to learn. Oh, that's hard to say. About animals, and she usually goes down to the library to get more books about them. Very nice, Laurel. I'm wondering if you have a particular animal, Laurel, or just animals in general. Is there a particular one that fascinates you the most? Okay. So moving on, continuing with that idea of Callie being passionate about theater and set design. So let's talk a little bit more. And now we've connected that idea to our own personal lives. Now let's get back into the novel a little bit and let's talk about Callie within the story. So my next question is, Callie finds her niche or her specialty in the theater world by working with designing sets. She dreams big and she works hard. So looking in the book on pages 25 and 26. So this section here, and you can see Callie is so excited describing her set design and what she's picturing. She's got the firing cannon. She wants the magnolia tree with the leaves coming down. She wants an interior, an exterior. I mean, she is a very passionate person. So she describes her ideas. Why do you think these pieces are so important to Callie? And what is she trying to accomplish by creating these very intricate and complicated sets? So what do you think she's trying to accomplish there? And why are those pieces so important? We find out a little bit later in the story, still within pages 1 through 60. I am not giving away any spoilers, so not to worry anyone. But we do find out that she really, this set design thing is really her thing. She goes to the bookstore and she and one of the other characters, I think it was Justin, are going through one of the set design books, and she's talking about how she wants to bring that to life. So she's definitely very passionate. Why are those things important? I think in my mind, I think the cannon, she's really excited about the cannon because of the boom effect, you know, literally and figuratively. Being able to wow people with some pyrotechnics would be pretty exciting, I would think, for a middle school play. The magnolia tree, the giant magnolia tree could really be a focal point. Those leaves falling, the gazebo and interior and exterior. I think she's just trying to make the whole picture complete for her audience so that they feel like they're really immersed in the play. That's what I think she's trying to accomplish, but maybe you have some different ideas. I'll be curious to hear what you have to say about that. So we've got about 10 minutes left in our chat today about drama, pages 1 through 60. And I have to tell you, pages 1 through 60, we're just barely getting started. So I had a hard time kind of thinking up of questions for today. A lot of my questions relate to personal connections to the novel, because 1 through 60, not a lot of meat yet to the story. That's coming down the road, as you know, if you've read it. 1 through 60, just kind of an introduction, getting to know the characters, getting to know what's going on, a little bit of the tension between Bonnie and the other characters, Greg and Callie. There's this tension, crush thing going on. So more on that in a bit. All right, let's go back. What are people passionate about? Megan is passionate about basketball and soccer, so sports fan. Nice, Megan. Krista's passionate about computer programming and music. Yes, Krista, I have seen you play your instruments in the Woodland Band. You are fantastic. Nice job. Shelby is passionate about reading. I read a whole chapter book. You read a whole chapter book almost every day. Good for you, Shelby. I have to tell you, I am so jealous. I wish I had that kind of time to read right now. I love, love, love to read. Not just professional books either. Right now, I'm still reading the Cinder series that you guys all got me hooked on from our June book club book. I'm in the middle of Crest, by the way, if you're curious. All right, so let's see. Any other responses to my most recent questions? I know I'm hitting you up with lots of questions today. Let's see. Let's see. Shelby says a cannon is a cannon, and cannons are awesome, especially in a play. Exactly. That was my point, the whole pyrotechnics thing. Who wouldn't love that? Let's see, I'm going back. Oh, Zach is asking, thank you, Zach, for posting a question. He's asking us if anyone else has read any other books by the author. So no, I have not. Great question, Zach. I'm really curious about Smile. Would love to know what others think if they have read it. No spoilers. Okay. All right, here I go. Back to back to the book. All right, we were just on pages 25 and 26. Now we're moving on to page 40 is where my next question is coming from. Let me see what I was thinking there. Okay, so she and her friends have been down into the costume basement, which is apparently pretty freaky, pretty scary place. And she walks out and they're dressed up with their funny caps on, and she runs into Greg. And remember, Greg is the guy she has a crush on, and she's like, oh, Greg. And he kind of looks away awkwardly and then just kind of walks away. It's kind of an awkward scene, and Kelly's kind of sad or kind of down about it. And Liz reassures Kelly by saying, we're the cool ones. He's the dork. So what do you think Liz meant by that? And do you agree? Let me post that on here. Okay, so again, this is on page 40 for those of you who have the book in your hand. You can take a peek at that and see what you think, but definitely one of those awkward moments. I mean, we've all had them. There's somebody that maybe you have a crush on and you say something awkward in front of them, or you do something silly and you feel uncomfortable, and that's definitely one of those moments that's happening here. And Liz, being the great friend that she is, tries to reassure Kelly and says, we're the cool ones, he's the dork. So what do you think that Kelly meant by that, and do you agree? Okay, so let's go back to, let's see, Zach tells me that Smile is a great book. He says I should read it. Thank you, Zach. I will look forward to that. Is it a graphic novel? I'm assuming it is, since she's a graphic artist here. So I really have to tell you, I have not read any graphic novels before. And so I was a little nervous about this and whether or not I would like it. And I loved it. I couldn't put it down. So I will look forward to Smile. Okay, so let's see, Laura, thank you for signing in here. She's read Smile. It's fantastic. It made her laugh. Sisters is also great. That one did look interesting. And on Raina Telgemeier's site, she talks about her relationship with her sister and some of the similarities and differences between, well, the book is based on an actual experience that they had. So anyway, I don't want to give away too much, but go to her website if you haven't seen it yet and read a little bit about those two books. I think it's interesting. How she is basing a lot of her novels on her life. But again, drama is not based on her life. Loosely, there are some characters that she's loosely based on some of her friends or acquaintances, but not based on any actual experiences. Shelby is connecting with the costume vault. It reminds her of her old attic, being scared to go up there, but wanting to go anyway. Yeah, old attics are great, kind of creepy. Okay, and Laura, thank you. It is a graphic novel. Very good. All right, we're going to keep moving on. I'll wait to see if anybody posts anything about what Kelly or what Liz means when she says, we're the cool one, he's the dork. And do you agree with that? Okay. All right. So then we're moving on to page 50. I was just on page 40, so I'm jumping ahead a little bit. We've got about 6 more minutes, so I better quit blabbing and moving on through because we are going to page 60 tonight. Okay, so this was an interesting area in the book where she's in the bookstore. She's got her set design book out. She's sharing it here with her friend, and boom, all of a sudden they're popped into the book kind of, I love the way the author or the illustrator did this kind of Mary Poppins style. They jump in and they explore the sets in this cool book. So there's a couple scenes there. Here's a great picture of them involved in a scene from the book and another one. So while they're there, while they're popped into these scenes, kind of Mary Poppins style, Callie tells Jesse, I want the audience to believe that the actors really live inside the world on stage. This is on page 53. How do the illustrations from the artist on pages 50 to 53, how do they convey that message that Callie is trying to give? So I'll post that up there. But there were certain things. And like I said, I had not read a graphic novel before. And so that part was really cool to me, the way that what she's saying is wanting people, she's wanting people to believe that they really live inside this world on stage. And then the way the illustrator just popped them into there just kind of really made the point of showing how Callie envisions it for her audience, being able to be in there and see it and experience it and feel like you're truly there in those scenes and in those sets. So I thought that was really cool, the way the artist did that. Okay, moving right along because we're going to run out of time. I'd like to do another connection to yourself, so between you and the novel. This one is, and I don't know about you, but I have definitely experienced this before. So at the end of the selection, the very end of page, I think it's 160, we find out that Jesse is a great singer, but he's very shy about performing in front of others. I mean, Callie's so impressed. She says they could be on Broadway, both twins. So do you have a talent that you keep to yourself, or do you know someone else who does? What can you or your friend do to feel more comfortable about sharing the talent with others? So do I have a talent? I don't think so. Let me see here. I do like to sing in the car as long as no one else is with me except for maybe my daughter. But I wouldn't say it's a talent. I would just say maybe I can't help myself. So again, just trying to connect the novel to our own lives. Do you have a talent that you are maybe not comfortable sharing, and how would you get more comfortable in sharing that with others? So just trying to make those little connections between the book and our own lives. And now, before we wrap up, I've got one more question, and I'm sure once we get done, we can continue to chat online. I'll end the video here in about a minute, but we will can continue the conversation online. We'll meet again next week to talk a little bit more about our novel. Let me look at the reading selection for next week. What are we supposed to be reading? Let's see, I'm clicking quickly through to find my newsletter. Hopefully you all got the newsletter. Let's see, next week we are reading pages 61 to 138. I will post that online when we get done here. So 61 to 138 is what we're doing next time. So anyway, as I mentioned, here's my last question, and then I will quit blabbing at you for the week. And next week, I'll pass off the microphone to Miss Laura Jenkins from the Coeur d'Alene Public Library. So thank you, Laura, for doing August 13th for us. So my next question is related to graphic novels. I had not read a graphic novel before drama, and like I told you, I really have enjoyed it. I noticed the way the lettering, the way the author makes letters big or makes something really small, how it kind of conveys emotion and sometimes action and movement, and just kind of help it to tell the story. So I had some questions related to that. So I'll go ahead and post that online because our time here is almost done. Feel free to answer that or post your own questions. I'm sure there are some other things that I did not cover in pages 1 through 60 that you would like to talk about. So feel free to add your own questions up there. Just remember, we're only on pages 1 through 60. We are ending right before the auditions. So please do not post any spoilers for the rest of our newfangled group who has not read as far as we have. So I'm signing off. I'll see you. I will not see you next week. Laura Jenkins will be with you next week. She'll be your moderator. We will look forward to chatting online about pages 61 to 138 from Drama. Everybody have a great week. Get outside and enjoy this gorgeous weather. Take care.